Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. Want to improve your organization's customer service? Looking for insider tips to knock your customer socks off? Then you're in the right place. Here's your host, Yannick Grant.
Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. On today's episode, we have a very special guest, Louie La Vella. Louie's clients are entertainment personalities, nightclubs, concerts, and festivals, and he creates brand and marketing strategies to engage and connect with their audience. Working within the shark-infested waters of the nightlife and music industry as a marketing and branding consultant, La Vella has been delivering high-profit solutions to both live entertainment events, musicians, and venues for years. With 20 plus years in the nightlife industry and extensive development and production experience with national television projects, authors, speakers, event producers, and coach, La Vella has produced and marketed over 30 live music concerts in the past few years, winner of the Niagara Music Awards Promoter of the Year in 2012, the Juno Awards Canadian Music Dance Category Committee. He has been called a Mediapreneur, combining a successful TV executive producer and host role with being a sought-after marketing and branding consultant in the nightlife and music industry. In his television days, he had the opportunity to interview the likes of Lady Gaga, Richard Branson, Backstreet Boys, and more. So without further delay, welcome Louie.
Hey, thank you for having me on, and thanks to everybody out there listening and taking the time out to listen to us today. Thank you.
Awesome. Before we start the interview and we get into, the meat of the matter, we always like to give our guests the opportunity to share with us a little bit about their journey, like who you are, what's your journey been like to get you to where you have become, where you are today.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's been an absolutely fun journey, as you can imagine, being in the entertainment industry. I started out, I would say, 17, 18 years old. So I think that's like early college or late high school, something like that, as a nightclub promoter. So I was a sub promoter, basically working for other event companies and venues. Everybody has that part-time job when they're getting into college, whether it's retail, grocery store, maybe even a bartender if you're old enough. And my love was business. And of course, going out and having fun and partying at the bars and clubs was also a huge interest for everybody, usually in the college scene and university scene. So I wanted to put those two together and see if I could make money from it. And it was a fantastic start. I got to forge some great relationships with venue owners and managers and bands and DJs, and of course learn the trade. But I thought, being a nightclub promoter wasn't exactly my career path. I knew entertainment industry was going to be something I wanted to be in. So I quickly learned to level up and have a long-term goal of working on a global scale with festivals and musicians and celebrities and things like that. So, it's been a 20-year journey to get to where I am today. But in between there, I've seen all these different opportunities to increase my brand, my personal brand, and always level up and growing from that first start as a little nightclub promoter and very quickly into booking venues and running my own events, and then getting on television and radio, and now to this day here. It's been a fun journey.
Amazing, truly amazing. So through this journey, because music and entertainment is very big, no matter where you go, which country you travel to throughout the world. What has your customer experience been like in terms of being a service provider, as well as being a customer yourself, receiving services from people that you may have to interact with at these different events and stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for myself as an entrepreneur, I have two arms to the business. If I can generalize the two divisions, the one is B2B, which is me getting clients and working with musicians or record labels or festival owners and things like that. And it really is, showing them that I can connect and engage their audience to them. Because I think nowadays everybody kind of has the same feeling of social media being such a big player in marketing, of course, if not the player in marketing, depending on your demographic. But it's very noisy and you have to do a lot of hustle. It was a little bit easier back in the day to just either pay radio, let's say not for music, but for events, or do print ads or flyers or television. And you have that marketing there. Now there's so much more involvement. You have to understand the user behavior of your audience. And with that said, the second arm of what I have to do is connecting them and even myself to the consumer audience. So that's selling tickets, getting people to download music, that kind of idea. And that's really understanding what the consumer wants to see on social media. It's for them to engage. No longer does it work for us to just put a nice looking flyer on social media and boost that post. You really need to come up with a campaign. Same with music. You can't just drop the track on Facebook and get a couple of your friends to share it and hopefully your fan base runs with it. You need to create a nice strategy, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and get them engaged, get them listening to the teaser, or get them feeling what the event's going to be about. If you're talking events, and eventually you get to the ticket launch, and then they've already bought into the message, hopefully, and you have them a little bit more excited, and they're a raving fan and they support you. So I think nowadays a lot of people get scared at that. They think, man, that's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. And it is. And you trade a little bit of hustle for maybe writing checks to traditional media for ad spend, because the ad spend on social media is a lot less. But it works well. That is the sandbox where everybody's playing. So we really need to take that seriously and not just say, well, back in the day it was easier. That's all good, but we don't have time machines. We can't go back in the day, right? And go back to where we knew what we were doing and we were successful at it. Things change constantly now and very quickly, so we have to be on top of that.
Amazing. Okay, so you spoke a little bit about in terms of the customer experience from you being a service provider. In terms of you being the customer in the situations or in situations that you've experienced over the last couple of years, how has your interpretation of your own customer experience, what you've been receiving as a customer?
Yeah, I mean, if I talk about events, whether it's festivals or even nightclub venues or smaller concerts, going to the events, it's always great, obviously, for me to just either wind down and enjoy the event or do a little bit of research on what everybody else is up to. And I find a lot of the places that either spend too much money to market to fill their room or just are not filling their room is because they are, like I mentioned earlier, kind of stuck back in the day. I had a panel I was on at the International Nightlife Congress a month ago, and everybody was talking about millennials and how they're on their phones all the time, and it's ruining the experience going to a club or going to a venue. They have their phones out, blah, blah, blah. They just want to be on social media. Mm-hmm. And I sat and I thought about my experience going in, and I'm like, you know what? It's the user behavior is not just because they're on social media and need to tell their friends or talk. It's they're documenting. They're documenting everything they do. And we do the same things, maybe not as much as a Generation Z, right? Because we're, depending on our age demographic, but, we want to tell our friends what we're up to. We want to share what we're eating right now. We feel like we're all media companies and we need to document. So, I told them, going back to the experience of me experiencing a nightlife venue, to answer your question here is, what are you guys doing differently than 20 years ago? You have a concert hall or a nightclub with a nice DJ or a band and some lights and a bartender, but that's the same concept as 20 years ago. And I'm like trying to poke fun by saying I don't use VHS tapes anymore, right? We've all changed. Why have you not changed? If you think about 20-year-old concept of the nightclub, it's exactly the same. To generalize, I mean, we have different sound, of course, we have different lights, but that's not a huge step in the experience. So when I walk into a club and it's like, it's either dead and the bartenders are on their phone and, it's the same old for 20 years. I'm thinking, well, no wonder nobody's here. Mm-hmm. Or it's too busy and the promoter and the venue owner thinks, hey, Louie, let's, rubbing elbows here. Look how packed it is. Look how great it is here. It's overpacked. And I'm thinking, go ask 6 girls right now what they think about your club. And I bet you 4 or all 6 of them will say it's too busy here. I can't get a drink. I waited in line too long. I lost my friend when I went to the bathroom. And you think that the overcapacity of the club is your success, but I bet you're even losing money because they want to leave early. They get frustrated to get to the bar to get a drink, that kind of idea. So, and I've seen that in my own experience by going to these places and thinking these are issues that are either going to bite them or have already bit them, right?
That's so true. I completely support all of what you just said a while ago.
Yeah.
Your success cannot be based on your numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. Same with Facebook likes. So I have 1 million likes. I have 10,000 likes. Likes do not equal sales at all. At all. The amount of times your organic reach is, 1%, things like that. You still have to target people, and you might be targeting specific, intricate ways of targeting, like somebody who likes your page, but also likes these certain items. A lot of people are just going for likes, and it's a visual thing. I understand that as a branding play. But that's a small piece of the branding pot. You know what I mean? I have 5,000, likes or 10,000, Twitter followers. That never equals actual sales. Yeah. You have to think outside of that. So to spend all your money trying to get likes, to me, I never do that. I try and spend, let's say, and I'm going off topic a little bit here. I try and spend the ad budget on your actual target. Let's try and create a funnel, or let's sell something. Let's sell tickets or music. People will like your page, indirectly because they see the ad and they don't like your page currently, so they'll hit like, but that's not the metric we go for. So a lot of people, again, are not thinking the new way of doing marketing and still thinking of the old mentality. We want more likes. We want to pack the bar. We want to do the old school way because it's easier, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's so true. Amazing. So based on all of what you just said a while ago, what are some everyday solutions that you believe can help improve customer experience? Maybe you can give us 2 or 3 everyday solutions that you believe the small business entrepreneur could put into their business to help improve their customer experience.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that many entrepreneurs and business owners, the mistake that they make is they forget that they're also a customer. So I hear it a lot with, musicians, or I hear it with, like, as an example, again, bar owners or club owners or anybody. You hear the same thing on them complaining when they go to another bar, or complaining about, why do these people want to message me on Facebook or text me? I want to be on the phone. You know what I mean? Again, they're romanticizing about the old school ways. And I sit there and say, cool, but let's say your audience is 21. They don't care what you think. Do you know what I mean? And they forget about them as a customer sometimes. Oh, I went to the bar and it was too busy and I couldn't get a drink. And yet they do the same thing. So I think the first thing that everybody needs to really stop and realize is you're also a customer, and think about how you want that experience to be. A lot of people disconnect that. They think, this is how I'd want to be treated, but I don't do the same to my customer. And then they wonder why there's a disconnect there. I think that's a massive thing everybody forgets. Same with on social media. Oh, I'm going to complain about my dinner and I expect somebody to respond right away. But on the flip side, hey, that idiot made a 1-star review. I think I should just delete all my reviews so nobody sees any of them. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you're disconnecting yourself as a customer, though. Like, you're not thinking about what you would want. They want to have somebody respond right away. They don't want it to be deleted. And you would hate that to happen, and yet now you want to do it to them, right? So that's, massive tip number 1 on returning customer service, and just thinking about how you would want to be treated. It's an age-old rule, you know what I mean? So let's bring that back and let's think about that. And the second thing is consistency. I think a lot of, and this goes for marketing as well, a lot of people give up very fast. They try something new and it doesn't work, maybe a couple of weeks in, and then they give up. Like, have a long-term goal. Beginning of this chat, I said, I have a 20-year span of cool stuff that happened to get to where I am today. But all of it was fun, and there was pivots everywhere. I went into radio, I went into TV. It was all to the same goal of music. Did a music show, music television. Everything was in the same genre so that I can keep building brand awareness. And now I'm on the listening committee, like you mentioned, for our award show, which is like our Grammys up in Canada, which is great. And that's more branding too, but it's exciting to be a part of that community as well. And all that is a long-term goal, and I have those sites, right? A lot of people create an event, let's say a bar event, or they have a new business, shiny object syndrome, and then they give up fast. If that's something that's serious for your business and it's going to grow your brand, have a realistic goal. Nobody's going to pack your club in 3 weeks, and nobody's going to have a brand new division of their entrepreneur business and think in a couple of Facebook ads, I'm rolling. You need to have a long-term goal, but you have to stick to it. You could pivot along the way a little bit because things need to be tweaked. That's cool. And at the end, if it's not working out, fine, you remove it, stop wasting your time. But you got to stick to a realistic goal. True,
very true. Now, in your bio, it said that you had the opportunity to interview the likes of Lady Gaga, Richard Branson, Backstreet Boys. So, a wide range of different persons for sure. Would you be able to share with us maybe 1 or 2 things that you've taken away from interviewing people that have this kind of celebrity status? So, Branson is known to be a disruptor in business. Lady Gaga is known to be a disruptor in the music industry. And, Backstreet Boys are just way cool. Is there, maybe a common thread that you've taken away from some of these celebrity interviews that has really helped to mold your personality and make you be a better business leader?
Yeah, absolutely. I think all of those and then some, they all are down to earth people. I really like the fact that, they're normal people and people really resonate with that. And especially nowadays on social media where they can have Snapchat or Instagram stories or just respond as a normal person, it makes a human to human connection. And that's a common thread that I saw with all these people. There were very few celebrities that I met that had that fake persona or were, just rude and things like that. And it may have just been the industry that they went through and whatever path they went through just gave them that cold heart. But, 99.9% of them were all super down to earth and super nice and just appreciative of just being normal people, which is amazing. I as a fun story I like to tell, I take so many flights and some of the times I'm flying on my own and you sit beside somebody and it may not be in a first class. Like I don't take first class ever. And, hey, how's you doing? What do you do? Oh, I'm the president of this massive company, or I'm this executive of this. And sometimes they ask me what I do and I have a cool story. And I'm always thinking, man, on the plane, everybody's such a normal person. You're sitting beside who knows who, and they're normal people. And to think about that with these celebrities, they really are. And that down to earth groundedness is what is, I think, making them successful and holding on to their long-term goals, right? You see some of them derail here and there, and I think that's when they lose sight of being themselves. But to be real like that really helps, especially in their personal branding. Like I mentioned, if you tweet at somebody and they tweet back to you, or they do something on Ellen and they're just such normal, funny people, you laugh with them. Like, I find that funny too. Or I do something that crazy. And, it really helps to be that kind of person. And on my side, getting those interviews, of course, being on television, a lot of them were organized. But, Lady Gaga and Richard Branson, those were just last second accidental interviews. Lady Gaga was interviewing other people and she just got signed to Interscope like a week before. This is years ago. And she was at this rooftop party with her managers and all these other DJs were there. And with my TV crew, we were interviewing famous DJs. She was like absolutely nobody. And her managers came up to us and said, here's this new girl that just got signed. We're ready to push her. She's going to have a great album come the summer. And she'd like to get some media. So would you do an interview for her? And I'm like, I don't know who she is. We got lots of stuff going on, but hold on, this could be an opportunity. And I was like helping people. So let's listen to the song. And it was Just Dance, of course. And we're like, yeah, this is a fantastic song. She has major backing, obviously. Absolutely, we'll do the interview. Not a problem. Not knowing she was going to be a superstar within like a month or two.
Yeah.
So, these doors open in front of you. And sometimes you may not be a real person and think, I don't have time for this. And this would have been a way different story, saying the time I could have interviewed Lady Gaga. And that was her first national TV interview as Lady Gaga, just getting signed. So, which is kind of cool to have under my belt as well. But you have to try and see those opportunities as they open.
True. And sometimes they only come along once.
Exactly.
Amazing. Okay. Now, how do you stay motivated every day?
I like what I do. And that's one big thing that keeps me obviously motivated to wake up and know that this is what I like. So when there's down times, whether it's, working with clients that aren't your favorite and, you can decide I can fire these clients and just move on, or they're all up times too. It keeps me motivated to wake up and do something fun. Do you know what I mean? I think everybody needs to do that, whether it's a regular job or whether you're an entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur, don't create another job for yourself that you don't like, do something you love. And I think that's a huge factor. And of course, the idea as an entrepreneur that you can create money out of thin air, or you can anything that's a failure is just literally, you don't count it as oh man, I failed, I suck, anything like that. You just look at it like, man, okay, fine, no problem. Let's pivot, let's tweak, let's continue. It's all good. Like I will create something new, or I can adjust. That mindset is really exciting to have.
Mm-hmm. So do something that makes you feel happy and makes you feel fun about. You're in the music industry. What's your favorite genre of music?
I am a fan of the dance genres. That's what I did with the television network and radio. So, like electronic music, dance music, house music. Mm-hmm. And of course, that was the music that was fairly strong in the mid 90s-ish when I was growing up. But hip hop was also strong too. So that's another favorite genre of mine. It's really funny. If you said, what's your favorite song? I probably wouldn't have a good answer for you. I like so many, and there's all this new stuff coming in, especially because I have to listen to so much music and mix shows that I probably couldn't give you a straight answer on what my favorite song is right now. Right. But I would lean towards the clubbier genres. Obviously the dance music and the hip hop urban music is great. And, there's some poppy rock songs that I love too. I'm not a big fan of like country or classical. There's just only so much genre room in my brain to kind of follow. But
Do you like reggae?
Reggae is great too. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Amazing. Okay. Now, what's the one online resource, tool, website, or app that you absolutely cannot live without in your own business?
I would say Facebook. Facebook, I have been able to get clients and return the favor by making them millions of dollars really on the platform of Facebook. And of course, that's saying social media really. But the majority of my business is on Facebook and Instagram, very close Instagram. But those are the two that I absolutely am. And some people say my phone, text messaging. Within those two apps, I can message people. I can be in contact. I can get on phone calls. I can do my advertising really right now. Those are the big monster players in my industry that absolutely are the big ones for me.
Cool. Now, over the years, in terms of your own growth and development, are there any books that you'd like to recommend to our audience that's listening that you believe has had the biggest impact on you?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of audiobooks. Like I will listen to audiobooks like crazy, just especially when you're driving or traveling and obviously you can't read while you drive, but
right.
The audiobooks are great. There's so many I've gone through that are absolutely amazing. A few off the top of my head, Start With Why was a great one. That's Simon Sinek. What else was awesome? Gary Vee, if anybody's familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk, his books are great. Crush It, or even the newer one, was a fantastic one. The Ask Gary Vee book was awesome. What else was great? Trust Me, I'm Lying by Ryan Holiday was really cool. It was talking about how media manipulation happens and how but like how groups of people can get in, utilize the media, how we're all headline readers. And honestly, reading that book years ago and being a marketing guy, you can start to understand how things are happening on advertising. Like self-driving cars are going to be coming out stronger as the years go by, but you're seeing ads now, like a Kia Ford commercial with that lane assist, beep, beep, beep. If you just, if your brain wanders a bit and you think about your kids or something and you move into another lane, don't worry, the machine has your back. Those are just slowly getting us used to the idea how we're scared of we're better than the machine. I don't want the car to self-drive. I'm a better driver. They're slowly giving us this little tiny step-by-step, you know what I mean, of training our brains to think, no, the machine's better than you. You wander off, that kind of idea without being just a hardcore, just like I said earlier, have a little strategy, give yourself a 4-week campaign before dropping your track. This is a probably 4 to 10 year campaign now, but you could see these little things happening. And you can also look at the election. You can see how, Donald Trump, who used the media to his advantage, against his advantage. And you when you read a book like that and you look at what's going on in the media and how we're all headline readers and we'll believe anything on Facebook, whether we click on it or not, it's scary. And it's also extremely possible to do those kind of things, which is scary, right?
Yeah.
But, I see that all the time. I've been seeing it forever. And honestly, the election, I'm up here in Canada, so I don't have, an opinion or a fan of either type of thing. I didn't look deep enough, but you can see from the circus, right? But I can tell way before when it was just, they didn't even have their campaign delegates picked out and everything. You can see how he was specifically using marketing techniques. And I'd love to be in those marketing rooms and to hear exactly how they planned this out. But I was shocked it happened, and then also not shocked it happened. Well, so there you go.
Like so many of us, huh?
Right.
Amazing. All right, Louie, what's the one thing that's going on in your life right now that you're really excited about? Either something that you're working on to develop for yourself, or maybe a new project that you're taking on, but something that you're working on to develop right now.
Yeah, I love to level up what I do every so often. And, I've started to scale away from nightclub and bar, and I'm doing a lot more festivals, which is very exciting, record labels, which is very exciting, and speaking as well. So I have a book that I've authored a few years ago, and I'm coming out with a second one. And I'm starting to do more speaking engagements around North America. And that's, a new level of what I'm doing. And so this entire year, I called it 2016 was the year of authority for me. I'm going to get on podcasts. I'm going to spread my message and just share what I know. I'm going to do a lot more of my own podcasts and articles, and I'm going to utilize social media to build authority and brand awareness so I can bump up the next level and start doing a lot more larger scale things and do speaking, which is I've done speaking gigs now, and it's been exciting. And so that's kind of a cool next level for me that I've already now hit, and I'm starting to grow that and explore. I mean, just in podcasts, and thank you for having me on. I've done 45 plus in the last 3 months now as a guest host, which has been really exciting and a lot of hustle and lots of fun. And I'm on pace to, before the month's over, probably hit 50 some odd podcasts, and I'm going to keep on going. So that's going to be a lot of fun for, continuing to release and share those again and again throughout 2017, because I'll have at least one a week to share again, which is great. And that's pretty cool for authority building and brand building. People can listen. We have a great conversation. They like you. They like me. It helps both of us. And I think it's a cool tool that I kind of picked up and I'm using.
Amazing. So you said you wanted to do more festivals. Can you explain to us what's the difference between a festival and what was the opposite one? Or you're moving away from?
Nightclubs. Yeah, the nightclubs are your basic bar nightclub. They could be 500 person venue, 200 person venue, 1,000 person venue, but they're your typical nightclub. Every week they have events going on, or student nights, things like that. And so it's a different atmosphere altogether. Whereas a festival, you're talking 30,000 people show up a day or more, or maybe less. And it's such a massive, cool undertaking. And you work on the marketing for 8 months. Right now I'm working on marketing and even in September, I was working on marketing for festivals that are in June, but it's really cool because it's a you have a tight knit team, and we organize everything to do with the festival. And then it finally comes to fruition, and you're on stage with 30,000 people in front of you, and this massive production, a legit huge festival. And you're thinking, man, I'm the marketing guy. Like I was one of the integral parts of bringing these people in. That's really awesome. It's such a cool feeling. So it's it's a larger scale. Not everybody gets to do that. If you're a good marketer and you have friends and DJs, you might be able to jump in as a promoter at a nightclub, but that's not something I really do anymore. I consult and train a lot of owners and promoters, because I know marketing, but I don't necessarily, I have a very small handful of bars and clubs now, like probably 5, just because I know them well, and they're friends now, and I help them out. But for the most part, I've expanded away from that, which is cool.
Right.
And there's different monetary value between a large scale festival and a nightclub, obviously. So I can do different business and maybe not work so hard, but work on 3 projects instead of 15 kind of idea, right?
Right. And you can also reach more people. I mean, you're connecting with way more people, which definitely, gets you an opportunity to really stretch your mark.
Absolutely. I mean, in festivals now you're dealing with, $1 million DJs, $1 million bands, $500,000 DJs, like some of the biggest of the biggest, and you get to discuss with their management things, you forge friendships, and that's just a whole other ball game. You know what I mean? As opposed to the nightclub, which is still fun and great, but you're working with the local club owner, maybe the local DJ. Sometimes they bring in acts, but usually not largest scale, because there's no way they can afford somebody of that caliber for a 500 person venue. So it's a completely different ball game, but it's a lot of fun.
True. All right. Can you tell our listeners where they can find you online?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all over social media. Absolutely. And obviously, and my website, I have my blog articles there and these podcasts. So, and it's all my first and last name. So it's Louie La Vella. That's spelled LouieLavella. So LouiesLaVella.com or at Louie La Vella, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, all those fun places. So anybody, feel free to reach out. Absolutely.
Cool. Now, before we close off our interview, we always like to give our guests an opportunity to share with us a quote or a saying that in times of adversity or challenge, this kind of helps them to refocus and re-engage, to stay on track of what their goal is. Do you have one of those?
I like to say 2 quotes. One, for me especially, every day's a Friday, especially in the entertainment industry. Every day's a Friday to me. So whether it's actually Friday or it's like a Monday, if you feel like, it feels like a Friday, it means you're doing what you love. So if you can find something that feels like a Friday every day, you're going well. That's my thing there. And the other one, especially in the marketing sense, I like to always say, make sure you're playing in the sandbox everybody else is playing in. So whether your audience is on LinkedIn or whether your audience is on Twitter or Facebook or on radio or on print or wherever they may be, make sure you know where they play. Because if you're in the wrong sandbox, doesn't matter what you're doing over there, you're not getting the message across. So in the marketing sense, play in the sandbox everybody's playing in.
Amazing. Wow. Good stuff. Well, thank you so much, Louie, for taking time today to just share with us all of this wonderful information. It was definitely a different spin to customer service, but as I believe, customer service transcends through all industries, and music and entertainment takes up a lot of people's lives, believe it or not. I mean, if you were to segment the things that you do outside of work, music and entertainment is probably a very big portion of that, whether it's done with family and friends or it's just done with friends only. So it's so important to recognize that, there are people out there like you that are looking at creating that wow experience, that when I leave that festival or I leave that event or I finish listening to that song, it really touched me in a way that I would want to share it with someone else.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Thank you for having me on.
Now, just want to remind our listeners that you can follow us on Facebook at Navigating the Customer Experience Community. That's where we have all of our past guests and listeners come and hang out and share any information that they have on customer service, any questions that you may ask, business development, personal growth, that kind of stuff. And always feel free to follow us on Twitter at Navigating CX. So again, thank you, Louie.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time. I'm your host, Yannick Grant. We really appreciate your support of this podcast. Are you ready to grow your business even more? Or improve your leadership skills? Or train your team members in the art of customer service? Give us a call at 305-848-0815 or visit our website at www.yannickgrant.com. That's YANIQUEGRANT.com. Remember, 305-848-0815 or visit our website at yannickgrant.com. Our new online course, Mastering Customer Experience and Increasing Your Revenue, is now available. The link for this will be on the show notes of each episode starting September 7, 2016. The first 2 modules are free, so hop on over, have a look, and take the steps to increase your revenue.
Thanks for listening. For more awesome resources to take your customer service game to another level, head over to navigatingthecustomerexperience.com. See you next time.